The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Welcome to Getting to Know You. My name is Joe Nash. Today we're going to be talking about healthy eating and healthy living because we're going to be talking about the Mediterranean diet. We have with us Fran Weiss. She's a dietitian at Hannaford. So welcome back. Welcome back, Fran.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you again.
And I'll just tell people, Fran is one of the Hannaford has many dietitians. If you go to the Hannaford website and there's a drop down under healthy living, and on that page is the thing that says Hannaford Dietitians, and they have all kinds of free classes, demos, and store tours. And all the stores are listed. Fran works out of the Wolf Road store and the Central Ave store. So how are your classes going? You were just telling me before we started, you usually get a nice crowd at these things.
It's great. I really enjoy meeting all the new people and returning people and word of mouth, especially we're talking about the Mediterranean diet today. That's a real popular class.
So before we talk about the Mediterranean diet, let me just ask you one quick question about diets and all this. You know, in the library here, we have 1 million diet books. They come out all the time. There's always, it seems like people get in a rush about them. You know, they have the 8-week diet, the DASH diet, the YOU, you on a diet, the South Beach, the Atkins, the Paleo, and there's 1 million of these things. Why, and now Mediterranean, what is it with Americans with all these diets? What's going on there? What is that all about?
I think people want a quick and easy fix.
Yeah.
So many diets come and go because they're not really effective.
And then some come back.
Some come back and try it again. The Mediterranean diet has been around for a really long time. It's tried and true, science-based, and you'll see every month now it seems like there's another reason to be following that as another benefit.
Okay, and I'll just tell people here in the library we have a lot of books on Mediterranean diet. I have 5 here. I'll give you an example of some, but almost all the other ones were checked out. It was like at least a dozen. So we have a lot of books here on that. This is just some examples. The Mediterranean diet, 70 easy, healthy recipes. And a lot of these have good introductions that tells you about that. And here's one that Fran recommended, the Mediterranean Weight Loss Solution. That was one of the ones you recommended,
That was
right?
one of them, yeah.
Here's another, the Mediterranean Slow Cooker. Now we have slow cooking is very popular. We have 1 million slow cooking books. They were all out too. Here's one from Cooking Well magazine. It's called Mediterranean Secrets of the World's Healthiest Diet. This is more than recipes. It goes into the lifestyle, which is something we'll talk about. Then, of course, they have this for everything, but the Mediterranean Diet Cookbook for Dummies. So, Fran, why don't we talk about this, the Mediterranean diet. So what is that actually? It's been around, like you said, since the 60s, 1960s, and how did it be? What is it?
So the Mediterranean diet really should be referred to as the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Well, that's...
So people refer to the Mediterranean diet. That's part of the lifestyle. So if we look at the Mediterranean diet is a pyramid that has been put together by the World Health Organization. Old Ways is a nonprofit organization, and Harvard School of Public Health. So the pyramid is up here. I'm not sure if it can be seen.
We can explain it.
Yeah. So the base of the pyramid, I have another one up here. Maybe this will show it a little better. So the base of the pyramid shows healthy living, exercise, relaxed eating. Anytime you see a pyramid, the bottom, the base, is the main
So that one doesn't even have food in it.
It does have food on it, but the base is healthy
Well, I meant the base has no food.
The base has no food in it. We should be exercising without eating at the same time. But then when you get to the food portion, the bulk of the pyramid is basically plant-based. So it's fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. So that's really the bulk of the Mediterranean diet, part of the Mediterranean lifestyle. And then going up on the pyramid, you'll see fish. Since this is the Mediterranean diet, we've found in the past, the reason we call it the Mediterranean diet, because people who live off the Mediterranean live longer, have lower incidence of heart disease. So fish is a part of the diet of people who live in the Mediterranean, and the recommendation is at least 2 servings of fish a week.
2 servings a week, and it says here, some of the research I did, limited red meat, right? Like.
Right, we're going to get to that.
Okay. All right. I was getting ahead
you were
of
right.
you.
You're ahead
All
of
right.
me.
All right.
Let's switch roles. You do this. No, that's good. You did your homework. Excellent. So then fish at least twice a week. And then in limited portion, we have dairy and poultry is allowed on the Mediterranean diet. But then when you get to the very tip of the pyramid, maybe you can see it better on this pyramid, I'm not sure, you see that there's red meat and sweets. Red meat and sweets are in the same category, limited amounts. Based on special occasions or how many calories you have left in your diet to spare. But really, it's meant just sometimes for special occasions.
So not even once a week for red meat.
That would be best if you're following Mediterranean.
And why is that?
Because the Mediterranean diet limits the saturated fats. It focuses on healthy fats. And that's the reason, and also limits how much refined sugars we have, so we want to stay away from the sweets.
So speaking of that, what is a healthy fat? Everyone thinks fat is not good for you. What's a healthy fat?
So examples of a healthy fat would be monounsaturated fats, like olive oil. I have here an example of a cooking spray. That's olive oil. Using olive oil, you can Mediterraneanize your diet by...
So olive oil is highly recommended.
Yes, it's a big part of the Mediterranean. So you could really start tweaking your diet by, instead of frying with butter, you might want to just try using some olive oil instead. So the monounsaturated fats is olive oil. We have avocados. Nuts are a big part of the Mediterranean diet, and also healthy fats and protein.
And what is, you said whole grains are important. We see this term all the time.
So
a lot of people know what that means. What's a whole grain?
So a whole grain, there are different grains. One grain that we typically think about is wheat. So we'd like to have whole wheat. So whole wheat has the fiber and the germ, which has the germ of the wheat has the many nutrients in there. So that would be the whole wheat. If you have wheat flour, people sometimes get confused thinking that's a high fiber whole wheat flour, but wheat flour just comes from the wheat kernel. So, and it's refined out, so you don't get the fiber or the other nutrients.
So the Mediterranean diet, I mentioned some other diets when I started all those other ones. So what is this diet good for, the Mediterranean one, as opposed to all those other ones?
Well, the Mediterranean diet is science-based, strongly science-based, and has many health benefits, as we've been seeing month after month now, seeing that it helps maintain or, keep your diabetes in control, helps control blood pressure. Some people are using it for cancer prevention. So the weight loss. So the Mediterranean diet is a very good overall diet.
Well, you were saying before we started, it is the most popular diet now, or one of them?
Well, I wouldn't say it's the most popular diet, but it's probably the healthiest.
The healthiest, mainly because, again, it's plant-based and for some of the other reasons.
Right. So basically, the best diet for you is one that you can follow. So if there's something that not something that you would want to do, like having a diet rich in healthy fats, as opposed to the DASH diet, which is a dietary approach to stopping hypertension. That's another top healthy diet, and it's a little bit different. So if really the best diet for you is one that you can follow and that you enjoy. So if you're on the DASH diet, if you really love like a bed of rice with some chicken and lots of vegetables, that would be a diet for you to follow. But if you really enjoy having avocados and couscous and lots of fruits and healthy fast fruits and vegetables, then the Mediterranean diet would be
this Mediterranean diet seems very practical. Is it hard? I mean, it seems like it'd be easy to follow, but and yet many Americans don't seem to follow these.
It's not as once somebody gets used to the diet, it really is not difficult. Like any routine that we start to follow.
And part of the Mediterranean diet, I don't know if this is in other diets, but they do recommend red wine in this one. Is that true?
I knew you were asking me that before we started several times over. So some people, interestingly or not, really want to start the Mediterranean diet because they want to have wine. So
well, they could have it anyway, couldn't they?
Well, the recommendation is if you don't already drink wine, you should not start drinking wine.
I see.
So the benefits of red wine on heart disease and basically it's really beneficial for heart disease. Red grape juice, purple grape juice has the same benefits as wine. So you don't really need to drink wine.
Okay, I see. Now the other thing is, in what I've been reading about and you mentioned it at the very beginning, the Mediterranean diet is more than just food. It's actually a lifestyle. What do you mean by that? In fact, let me just read this one thing. This is from the Mayo Clinic, so you can't get any more authoritative than that. The Mayo Clinic says other important elements of the Mediterranean diet are sharing meals with family and friends, enjoying a glass of red wine, and being physically active.
And not getting stressed out by
this. That's okay. So what about the Mediterranean diet as a lifestyle? What can you say about it? What does that
So that we were talking about before on the base of the pyramid. Maybe we could just hold this up a little bit. So on the base of this pyramid, you could see sharing meals with family and friends, relaxing. It shows dancing and exercising, taking a walk. Just relaxing is decreasing stress will help with blood pressure.
And not just gobble down some meal and...
Not quickly gobbling down.
So you've taught some classes and some demos over at Hannaford. When you're doing the Mediterranean diet, what are some of the dishes that you show as some examples?
We have some nice quinoa dishes that
quinoa is
it's referred to as a grain, but it's actually technically a seed, but it's a high fiber, higher protein grain than some of the rice or barley.
Does it cook like rice?
It cooks the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's easy to prepare. We also make many avocado recipes in the store.
Avocados are very important in this.
Very important. It's a very healthy fat. When we mentioned fish is another healthy fat. When we talked about the nuts and avocados and the oils, the fishes are also healthy fats. So in the store we make some really awesome avocado recipes. We have an avocado key lime pie that I actually just created, and it's very it's green because of the avocado, but you don't really realize
it's not a dessert though.
It's a dessert, key lime pie. You don't realize it's in there. We have avocado chocolate pudding, which is awesome, and of course we add avocados to many salads. And smoothies.
Now, in this diet, meat is not stressed. I think a lot of Americans feel, unless you're a vegetarian or something, a whole meal with no meat. Now, you can still eat healthy you don't need meat. Is that one of the...
Absolutely.
So, if you're going to have a Mediterranean diet, if you're going to cook a Mediterranean diet tonight or tomorrow night, what would your meal be?
I personally would love to have...
Or say you were making it for 4 people.
Well, as I mentioned before, a diet is people only enjoy a diet if they enjoy the foods that are on it. So if you enjoy the foods that are part of the Mediterranean diet, it's awesome. So I like to include salmon, like baked or broiled salmon, with a large bed of mixed vegetables, roasted vegetables, and trying to get vegetables from different colors. We talk about eating from the rainbow. So I have out here, you can see some different fruits and vegetables from the produce section. I just picked a few showing the different colors of the rainbow. Each color fruit or vegetable carries a different antioxidant, so we don't have to memorize the name of each of the antioxidants. But once you have all the different colors every day, you'll get all the antioxidants you need to prevent cancer and anti-inflammatory properties.
What was that now? It would be salmon over...
Salmon, I'd probably put it either over brown rice or quinoa or barley.
With roasted vegetables.
Yes.
Okay. And then suppose people came back the next night, what would a meal be?
The next night, I might make it more vegetarian. So I might make, let's say, a quinoa dish, quinoa couscous instead of the regular couscous using white wheat. I might use a quinoa couscous, and there's a nice recipe for that. The Old Ways cookbook has a really nice one.
Well, a lot of these books I was referring to have hundreds of recipes. Now, are there any Mediterranean diet books that you would recommend yourself?
Well, locally, there's a very good Mediterranean chef who does catering, and he has a book that he's written called Savor the Spice of Life, and several of my customers really enjoy his recipes.
And his name is?
Chef Shaw.
And he used to, I think, a place I used to get, it's closed now. He used to run, what was it, BSF up on Western Avenue. That was a great place.
That was a great restaurant, and he still does catering. So people who know him, he does have a book. It's now an e-book as well, Savor the Spice of Life. And so those have great recipes, and people like them because on the bottom of the recipes gives the nutritional breakdowns.
So you said you're going to show me this. We're going to make a spice mix here. First
we are. This was a hit.
So tell me,
in front of you.
As you explain the ingredients, and I'll try to make it. Explain what this would be good for, and how you would use it.
Okay, so what I have set up here that you could all make at home if you have these spices in your closet or buying it. So I have everything measured out for you.
All right.
So this spice mix is salt-free, which we want to try and limit our sodium intake.
Right.
So the first thing you have there is oregano.
Oregano.
So I have everything measured out for you, and you're going to take 2 teaspoons. 2
teaspoons, all right.
And you're going to put it right into that little cup over there. Awesome.
So 2 teaspoons oregano is the first.
Right.
And I have individual spoons for each one.
You have
It's
each
very
one,
nice of
and
you.
they're marked for you, so there's no mistake.
All right.
So
2 teaspoons oregano.
Now, since you have time to do this, we'll take 1 teaspoon of thyme.
1 teaspoon thyme, oregano thyme.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you have garlic.
Garlic
powder. And you could also have fresh garlic in your food, very heart healthy.
So how much of this?
1 teaspoon.
And if you were using fresh, how much?
It depends how garlicky you like things. You could use as much garlic as you want.
Right. I would be someone who would probably cut up 5 cloves.
I would use many also, and other people might use
so one of those.
One of those. And then we have some black pepper.
Black pepper.
It's a half a teaspoon.
A half a teaspoon of black pepper. So this is pretty simple.
Yes.
What was a half? Okay, a half.
So there are many spice mixes that we can make. That's talking about some of the classes we do in the store. We do make spice mixes together.
All right, so.
Now, do you have the cover for that?
Yes, I'm going to go over this one more time as I explain this little mix I made here. I'm going to put the top on. So, 2 tablespoons.
2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons oregano. 1 teaspoon thyme. 1 teaspoon garlic powder. Or if you're going to use fresh garlic, as much as you want.
As much as you want.
And a half a teaspoon of pepper. All right, you put it in your spicy mix. And you mix it up.
Mix it up, and then you can make bigger batches if you enjoy.
But always with
that ratio.
That ratio,
right.
Okay. So then, how would this be used?
So you can use that sprinkled on your vegetables, like when you're sautéing them. You can use it when you're cooking fish or chicken.
Oh, just put it on as you're cooking.
As you're cooking.
Okay. Can you?
This will be instead of salt and pepper.
Instead of salt and pepper, okay.
Although it already has pepper in it.
Could you put it on when the meal is done and?
You could.
Like you could, okay.
Yep.
So now, why these ingredients? Is this?
It has the Mediterranean taste to it. We're talking about the Mediterranean diet, and all kinds of spices are included in the Mediterranean diet. This is just an example of one idea that you could use.
So you have some other things here that are part of the Mediterranean. With pomegranates?
So
hummus?
pomegranate, hummus is a big part of the Mediterranean diet, so that might be another dish like for dinner. You might make a hummus plate, have a center with different varieties of hummus that are now available. There's so many different flavors.
Yes.
This one is a balsamic caramelized onion. I only found out about this because one of my customers said she only buys this flavor, and it is really delicious.
Okay.
But Cedars and other companies make hummus in
I know,
original.
the hummus aisle is getting very large in the
Yes,
store
there's
these
also,
days.
and now there's a chocolate hummus, which is really delicious, made with chickpeas and chocolate. And I've done classes in the store. We've had ice cream classes with the chocolate hummus as a topping.
Now, I have made hummus in the past with the chickpeas and the blending,
Tahini, yeah.
and tahini. And
Yeah.
now, would you recommend making it, or is this just as healthy? This kind? Is it?
Well, if you can make it yourself, that's fabulous. Some people don't have the time to make it. So if it's a choice of not having time to make it and not eating it, or buying it prepared, it's great if you can make it yourself.
Okay. Now, one thing about the Mediterranean diet, it says enjoy some dairy, and the key word, it seems to be some. What?
In moderation.
Now, what would the reason? Any particular reason, or
That's just the way so each diet is a little bit different.
Yeah.
They're talking about saturated fats, trying to keep that down. Cheese and yogurt and dairy is included. It's just the same as we're saying poultry once in a while.
Okay.
So the bulk of the Mediterranean diet is, I mentioned plant-based and fish.
All right, so the big
is
thing is
correct.
plant-based.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say chicken, poultry is always recommended as a place of meat, but you're saying
Yes,
even
it
that
is.
should be in moderation.
It's in moderation, but it is allowed on the
right.
diet.
Well, everything in moderation is
Everything is
isn't
always good in moderation.
that the same? Now,
Variety and moderation.
part of this is more fruits. Could that be any fruits, or are there particular ones that are, part of the Mediterranean? Any fruits?
All fruits and vegetables. And part of the Mediterranean, the pomegranate is a pretty exotic fruit that's part of is popular in the Mediterranean
Okay.
diet, and adds some nice color to your dishes, and nice vitamin C and fiber and
Now,
antioxidants.
I don't know that much about pomegranates. Are they from the Mediterranean area?
Yeah, so
okay.
they're from different areas, but they grow many at a time.
okay.
Come in different colors, but we seem to have the red ones in our country.
So before we started, you were telling me you've been a dietitian for many, many years, I'll say.
Many years.
So since you started many, many years ago, what are some of the changes you've seen in diets and fads? But this one seems to be...
Well, this one doesn't seem to be a fad, because this one's
This one's been around.
Since the 1970s. It's highly science-based, and it's been proven to help people stick to it. People enjoy the flavor of the food, and it does help with heart disease, diabetes, as we mentioned.
And
blood
it does
pressure.
seem to have, as opposed to these other diets, I mean, not that I'm an expert on them, but the other ones don't seem to have the lifestyle component, do they?
No, the other ones are people want a quick fix, and they think they can do something easily and just follow this diet and not have to exercise. It doesn't seem to work, and that's why there's so many fad diets. If they really work, they would stick around, like the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet.
I know. Well, it seems like before we started, I just said, if people ate sensibly and exercised, you might not need all these diets, would you?
Would not need what?
You wouldn't need all these diets, would you?
Well, that's right. So I guess the takeaway from the Mediterranean lifestyle is trying to feel relaxed with family and friends, exercising, have a bulk of your diet with fruits, vegetables, nuts, and
plant-based.
seeds, and whole grains, plant-based, fish, and dairy and poultry in moderation, limiting red meats and sugar, and some grape juice, and hydrating.
And cooking with olive oil seems to be...
One way to try and tweak your diet a little bit, you can start off by including a salad before your meals.
Mm-hmm.
You could add more vegetables to whatever dishes you're making. You can switch some of the fats in your baking from saturated fats. You can use avocados, applesauce, canned pumpkin.
So, if I was mentioning in the beginning, you have classes, demos, and store tours at the Hannaford. You're out of Central Ave and Wolf Road. Do you have any upcoming kind of classes? You don't have to give any dates or anything, but what's upcoming that you're going to be teaching over the holidays? Anything in particular?
Well, we're talking about healthy sweet. We have something called sweet endings, that we have healthier options. And one of the recipes that we're making this week is called banana cream pie smoothie.
Okay.
So using healthy ingredients in there. It kind of has a taste.
These are for desserts.
These are for desserts.
I see.
But we also
Well,
have,
dessert really shouldn't be healthy, should it?
well, we can make them healthier. Maybe they're not healthy. They do have healthy ingredients. We have a lot of recipes that do incorporate fruits, vegetables.
Okay. But you don't actually have any, do you have any upcoming, other than that, what else do you have on tap?
On the tap, we have a program on diabetes.
Oh, okay.
Called pre-diabetes. Are you at risk for diabetes? Or if you already have diabetes, this class is definitely important to follow. If you know anybody who has diabetes, we have Mediterranean diet classes. We have a variety of classes based on request and also on interest.
So on the website where these classes are, people can actually go and request. You say, I want to have a
Yes.
class on whatever.
Well, they can request, and then
Okay.
I'll put in the schedule. One of them that's coming up that's also a popular class in the past, and we'll be making overnight oatmeal. We're going to make carrot cake overnight
Okay.
oats, and that's a healthy overnight oats. It's
Okay,
nothing. Oats is a whole grain. Oatmeal is always a whole grain. You can't refine it.
Okay. Well, and all these classes are either at the Central Ave store or the Wolf Road store, right?
There are many dietitians that Hannaford has, so many Hannaford locations.
Well, for you, if
for
they
me,
want it, yeah, for you,
If you want to
are,
see
but-
me, yes, I'll be at those two stores, and I also go out into the community to your place of business, doing health fairs, lunch and learns, schools.
Well, if people are watching this outside those two areas, when you go to the dietitian, it says Colonie, Latham, Delmar, Amsterdam. It has like a whole list. So you can Albany. So all the Hannafords. Does every Hannaford store have a dietitian?
Most Hannafords do, not
Have-
all. So when you go onto that website, you'll see different states
yeah,
come
that's
up. So
right.
you'll just click on New York,
Click on- yeah.
and then you'll see all the locations.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys do a good job with trying to educate people.
And we try our best.
Well, Fran, thanks for coming and telling us about the Mediterranean diet. We really appreciate it. And the spice mix that I made, can I bring this home?
Absolutely, and here's a set of measuring
All
spoons
right,
for
thank
you that you can make some more at
All
home.
right. So we'll probably see you again in the future when we have another topic for you. So
Okay,
And that's Hannaford.com. And then I think under Healthy Living, there's a drop down. And then when you're on that page, on the right, it says Hannaford Dietitians. If you click on that, you get all the stores for like 5 states.
Yes.
And then if you pick Albany or Colonie, you'll get a Fran.
You'll get
her
me.
class. And it lists all the classes. And they're all free. Demos, healthy classes, and store tours. So thank you for coming.
Thank you so
And
much.
we will see you in the future. And we'll see you next time on Getting to Know You.